kid, Eddie. How much you weigh, Slim? When you weighed 168 pounds, you were beautiful. You could have been another Billy Kahn. That skunk we got you for the manager, he brought you along too fast.
It wasn't him, Charlie. It was you. You remember that night in the garden? You came down my dressing room and said, "Kid, this ain't your night. We're going for the price on Wilson." You remember that? This ain't your night. My night, I could have taken Wilson apart. So what happens? He gets the title shot outdoors in a ballpark, and what do I get? A one-way ticket to Palookaville. You was my brother, Charlie. You should have looked out for me a little bit. You should have taken care of me just a little bit so I wouldn't have to take them dives for the short-end money.
Well, I had some bets down for you. You saw some money.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum, which is what I am. Let's face it. It was you, Charlie.
Okay. I'll tell him I couldn't find you. Said nobody won't believe it. Here. You take this. You're gonna need it.
These words, "I could have been a contender," uttered on celluloid film and projected onto film screens in 1954, resonated with anyone that ruminates on a missed opportunity in life that could have made things better for them, or those that feel like they are a nobody, those that are alone, lost, and in despair. These words, once they were said, have echoed in film lore and still pack the emotional punch and veracity they did 60 plus years ago. Directed by Elia Kazan, On the Waterfront stars the legendary acting powerhouse Marlon Brando as Terry Malloy, a former prize fighter turned shoreman. The waterfront where Malloy works is controlled by crime boss Johnny Friendly, who is under an investigation and turns to murder to keep people from speaking to the law. The sister of one of his victims, Edie Doyle, whose brother Joey was thrown off a roof early in the film, and is played by Eva Marie Saint in her first film role, becomes a love interest for Malloy and causes him to rethink his loyalties to Friendly and his gang. Our next short clip revolves around Johnny Friendly, played brilliantly by Lee J. Cobb. In this scene, we hear how Friendly treats a member of his gang that tries to short him on cash from a payment pickup. This clip also shows the favor Malloy has with Friendly, with getting extra money and a favorable job on the waterfront.
I know what's eating you. Well, I got 2,000 dues-paying members in this local. That's $72,000 a year legitimate. And when each one of them puts in a couple of bucks a day just to make sure the work's steady, well, figure it out. And that's just for openers. We got the fattest piers and the fattest harbor in the world. Everything moves in and out, we take our cut.
Why shouldn't we? If we can get it, we're entitled to it.
You don't suppose I can afford to be boxed out of a deal like this, do you? A deal I sweated and bled for on account of one lousy little cheese eater, that Doyle bum who thinks he can go squealing to the crime commission, do you? Well, do you?
Well, no, Johnny. I just figured I should have been told.
I make it 26-23. You're 50 short, Skins.
Give me.
I must have miscounted.
Give me. Give me. You come from Greenpoint, go back to Greenpoint. You don't work here no more. Here, kid, here's half a bill. Go get your load on.
No, I'm okay,
Go
Charlie,
on.
thanks.
Present from your Uncle Johnny. And Mac, tomorrow morning when you shape the men, put Terry up in the loft, number 1.
Sure, why not?
Every day. It's nice, easy work, see? You check in and you goof off on a coffee bag, okay?
Okay. Hey! You got a real friend here. And don't forget it.
Why should you forget it?
Yeah. Thanks, Johnny.
While this film is considered to be a crime drama, the budding romance between Malloy and Edie is one of the best romance tales spun in cinema, in my humble opinion. It can be seen as a tragic love. Edie's brother Joey was lured up to the roof he was thrown off of by Malloy, who thought he was only going to be quote-unquote roughed up by Friendly's men for agreeing to testify. Edie initially is cold towards Malloy, but as time goes, she warms up to him. And as this happens, the viewers see this shift in Malloy from just a tough individual to someone with feelings, emotion, and even love. Our next 2 clips are examples of this. First, Terry walks Edie home, and we can kind of hear the coldness Edie has towards him. And then in the next scene, Terry asks Edie out in one of the most heartwarming scenes in the film.
You know, I've seen you a lot of times before. Remember parochial school on Pulaski Street? 7 or 8 years ago, had your hair...
Braids.
Looked like a hunk of rope. You had wires on your teeth and glasses, everything. It was really a mess.
I can get home all right now, thanks.
Hey, don't get sore. I'm just kidding you a little bit. I just mean to tell you that you grew up very nice.
Thanks.
And you don't remember me, do you?
Remember you the first moment I saw you?
Right the nose, huh? Well, some people just got faces that stick in your mind.
Remember you were in trouble all the time.
Now you got me. Boy, the way those sisters used to whack me, I don't know what. They thought they was going to beat an education into me, but I foxed them.
Maybe they just didn't know how to handle you.
How would you have done it?
With a little more patience and kindness. That's what makes people mean and difficult. People don't care enough about them.
Oh, what, are you kidding me? Come on, I better get you home. There's too many guys around here with only one thing in their mind. Am I gonna see you again?
What for?
I don't know.
I really don't know.
Have fun. Come on.
And now, our next clip.
You got a second? 1 second? I want to show you something. Hey, what do you think of that phone?
She's a beauty.
She's a he. His name is Swifty.
Oh, look what he went and did. He's my lead bird. He's always on top of the perch. You know, if another bum tries to come along and take his place, he really lets him have it.
Even pigeons aren't peaceful.
Well, one thing about them, though, they're very faithful. They get married just like people.
Berta.
And they stay that way till one of them dies.
That's nice.
Hey, go ahead, fix the roof. Hey, you want that egg? Do you like beer?
I don't know.
I bet you never had a glass of beer. You ever have a glass of beer?
No.
You want to have one with me?
In a saloon?
Well, yeah. I mean, I know nice little dump down here that got a special entrance for ladies, all like that. Come on, mate.
Other than Edie, who is empowered by the tragic loss of her brother, there is a priest that empowers the workers on the waterfront to turn against Friendly and speak to the investigators. In our final two clips for this episode, we hear the priest speak to the workers about how the workers have God with them, and with God with them, nothing can stop them, and using these words to empower them to get rid of this fear of Friendly and turn against him. And he's doing this all the while Friendly's men are throwing things at him. And finally, Malloy's transformation is complete when he confides in the priest about his involvement in Joey's murder, and the priest convinces him to come clean with Edie.
This is my church! And if you don't think Christ is down here on the waterfront, you've got another guest coming.
Get out the dark, Father!
Tulio, don't do that.
Whose side you on, boy?
Let him finish.
Every morning, when the hiring boss blows his whistle, Jesus stands alongside you in the shape-up. He sees why some of you get picked and some of you get passed over. He sees the family men worrying about getting their rent and getting food in the house for the wife and the kids. He sees you selling your souls to the mob for a day's pay.
The next bum that throws something deals with me. I don't care if he's twice my size.
Now, what does Christ think of the easy money boys who do none of the work and take all of the gravy? And how does he feel about the fellas who wear $150 suits and diamond rings on your union dues and your kickback money? And how does he, who spoke up without fear against every evil, feel about your silence?
Tell him about that! Just watch this.
You see that?
You want to know what's wrong with our waterfront? It's the love of a lousy buck. It's making love of a buck, the cushy job, more important than the love of man. It's forgetting that every fella down here is your brother in Christ. But remember, Christ is always with you. Christ is in the shape-up, he's in the hatch, he's in the unit. He's kneeling right here beside Dugan. And he's saying with all of you, if you do it to the least of mine, you do it to me. And what they did to Joey and what they did to Dugan, they're doing to you. And you. All of you. And only you, with God's help, have the power to knock him out for good.
And now, Malloy comes clean.
Listen, if I were you, I would walk right... Never mind. I'm not asking you to do anything. It's your own conscience that's got to do the asking.
Conscious. That stuff can drive you nuts.
Good luck.
Hey, is that all you gotta say?
Come in. Edie called me this morning. She's coming here to talk to me. Come on. Why don't you tell her? Huh? No curves.
Okay. Thanks.
In my opinion, what makes a film truly great and allows it to transcend generations and decades is the film's influence stands the test of time. On the Waterfront does this, and then some. In interviews with a who's who of actors, actresses, and directors, you would be remiss to not hear some of the all-time greats talk about their experience in viewing this film, how it inspired them and emboldened them to be involved in cinema. I feel director Martin Scorsese says it best when he says, when you watch this film, you are watching the purest poetry imaginable in dynamic motion. These words still do not do the beauty and awe-inspiring performances in this film justice. This is easily one of the greatest films ever made, and I feel even those words sell its greatness and excellence way short. Join me next week when, in celebration of the film's recent 40th anniversary, we take a look at the swashbuckling space epic and probably William Shatner's finest performance, Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. For WMNH and Matt Connarton Unleashed, this has been a classic film review with Erich Pilcher.